Hi folks, I've got Sofirn SC32 to have a look at and show you today and waffle on about. But before we do, let's have a quick look at the box and its outer sleeve. And as we can see, Sofirn have a little bit of a revamp on their packaging. Inside the box, if I can get it right, got a little compartment in there, a little additional box, if that's what you call it, with our USB-C charging cable in there, lanyard, and of course the manual's in the box as well. So let's get rid of that. Jump back to our light, and as we can see, and it's hopefully immediately apparent, it's a little dinky thing, isn't it? It's certainly on the smaller size scale for an 18650 type light. So we'll look at it in comparison with the SC31 Pro, and you can see there that quite a considerable size difference. And the light itself is marketed as being tactical, and you might prefer a tail clicky over a side clicky just because that's what you prefer. In terms of it being tactical, we'll come back to that in just a moment. USB-C charging on there, and a little indicator that tells us when the light is charging, and also when we turn on, it's going to act as a battery indicator as well. In terms of operation, pretty straightforward. One click on, one click off. The exception to that is if you jump to turbo, and one click takes us back to where we were. So if you're on medium and you go to turbo, one click takes you back to medium, another click takes us off. Whilst the light is on, 4 clicks will change our mode either from stepped to seamless ramping, and vice versa back again. Whichever of those two that were in the principle remains the same, in that on the seamless ramping, double click takes us to turbo, single click back to where we were, one click off. So you don't get any simpler than that. Jumping back to the question of what do you actually define as a tactical light, setting aside whether you just prefer a tail clicky or not, one could argue that a tactical light should have a readily accessible turbo, which from the on position I suppose it has, and also a readily accessible strobe, so a bit of a strobe warning coming up. And what I've found is you've got to be a little bit precise with those 3 clicks. Whereas if you do it just a few too many times or too fast, it doesn't like it. And what it's actually done then is change modes, because remember the 4 clicks went on, changes the mode. So I found it a little bit finicky to use to get to the strobe mode. So if that is important to you, I'd give it a little bit of careful thought. So let's now go and have, oh no we won't, look at that lens. Never seen a lens like that before. I didn't mean to mention that right at the beginning. It was a good job I just noticed it there, I was going to forget. The effect of that we'll have a look at when we get outside, but let's jump and have a look at the specs. $30.99 instead of $55.99. Mini tactical flashlight with 2000 lumens. Now we've covered most of this bits here, but a couple of things that we didn't cover or confirm. Yeah, we've got the IPX waterproof, advanced temperature regulation, set at 55, reverse polarity protection, voltage protection, and so forth. So you know the quality things that we'd expect in there. In terms of its actual performance, let me make that a little bit bigger. Low 90, medium 450, high 900, turbo 2000. 48 to 240 meters throw, and run times that you'd expect with that kind of output. So without any further ado, let's take it out and see what it looks like outside. Hi folks, we've got the SC32 now on its lowest mode, and I don't know whether the camera showing. Oh, do you know what I've forgotten? Let me put the picture of where I am. So yeah, sorry, the SC now. That's quite a diffused beam, isn't it? If that's the right description. Let's go up one. Only on medium. Quite a large, no defined hotspot. Big splodge of light out front. Is that the right kind of description? But I wouldn't call it a flooder. You know, we are still getting some range on there. And let's go up to high. Let's twizzle the camera around so you can see. Am I getting close to calling it a flooder? I'm getting close, but not quite, because we've still got the distance, haven't we? Not quite as much as the Model 18. I've done a review of this light side by side with the 18. Check that out. And then turbo. And now that's really pronounced, isn't it? That lens that we looked at, that I couldn't really describe it. It's certainly doing something here, isn't it? Still getting the distance, but with plenty of kind of flood. And remember, it's one click to take us back to where we were to high. Don't think I've quite seen well, I haven't seen a lens that looks like the lens on this light, and I haven't seen a beam profile that looks quite like it either. And I do like it. You guys let me know what you think. One last scroll through our modes, and if we need it, the turbo on the end. Let's go to a different spot and have another look. So a little bit further on with the SC32 on its lowest mode. You can see it's quite a floody, even, balanced kind of beam, isn't it? Next up, plenty of light on there, isn't there? High. I don't know about you, but I think that's really impressive. Even adding a little bit of distance on, and then turbo. I mean, look at the turbo close range. And one click takes us back to where we were, wherever that happened to be. High. Back to turbo. Back to high. Great little light. Catch you soon, folks.